Master Your State Motivation by Tony Robbins. You can have the best strategy in the world, the biggest dreams, and all the resources, but if you're in the wrong state, nothing works. Your state determines your decisions. Your state determines your actions. Your state determines your life. Every moment of your life, you're in some emotional state, confident, fearful, grateful, frustrated, loving, angry. And the truth is, your state is a choice. It's not something that happens to you. It's something you create. Most people live in reaction. They let the environment decide how they feel. Someone cuts them off in traffic and their whole day changes. Someone gives them a compliment and they light up. They're like emotional yo-yos, constantly pulled by the outside world. But the people who master life are the ones who master their state. They decide how to feel before circumstances show up. They create their emotions on purpose. The difference between success and failure, between joy and depression, between taking action or giving up, is the state you're in when you make a decision. You can't make powerful choices from a weak state. You can't think clearly when your body is tense, your shoulders are slumped, and your focus is on what's wrong. If you want to change your life, you must first change your state, because your state controls your behavior, and your behavior creates your results. Think about it. When you're excited, when you're passionate, when you're grateful, do you procrastinate? No, you move. You create, you connect. But when you're drained, fearful, doubtful, you freeze, you hesitate, you sabotage. So the key is not to wait for motivation. It's to learn how to generate it instantly by changing your state. There are three forces that control every emotion you feel: your physiology, your focus, and your language. If you change those three, you can shift from sadness to strength, from fear to faith in seconds. Let's start with physiology. Your body is the fastest way to change your mind. Motion creates emotion. You can't feel depressed when you're standing tall, breathing deeply, smiling wide, and moving with energy. Your body and mind are linked. Change one, and the other follows. When you move differently, you feel differently. When you breathe differently, you think differently. If you want to feel alive, move like someone who's alive. When you walk, walk with purpose. When you speak, use energy. When you breathe, breathe deeply from your core. Your physiology is your foundation for every emotion you'll ever feel. Second, focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. Whatever you focus on, you feel. If you focus on what's missing, you'll feel lack. If you focus on what's wrong, you'll feel pain. But if you focus on what's right, what's possible, what's within your control, you'll feel powerful. You can take two people in the same situation. One focuses on the problem, the other focuses on the opportunity. Same event, different emotion, different outcome. The difference isn't the situation. It's the focus. Ask yourself better questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this? How can I grow from this? Those questions instantly pull you into a new state of mind. And the third element is language. The words you use shape the meaning you give to life. Words don't just describe your reality, they create it. If you say, I'm exhausted, you'll feel exhausted. If you say, I'm done, your brain shuts down. But if you say, I'm challenged, I'm growing, I'm learning, your brain finds strength. You can change your experience of life by changing your vocabulary. Replace words that drain you with words that drive you. Instead of saying, this is terrible, say, this is testing me. Instead of saying, I'm overwhelmed, say, I'm in demand. Your nervous system listens to every word you speak. When you combine powerful physiology, focused attention, and empowering language, you create an unstoppable state. And from that state, everything becomes possible. Every day, life will throw things at you: stress, rejection, loss, doubt. You can't control that, but you can control what it means. You can control your response. When something doesn't go your way, you can collapse, or you can rise. You can ask, why me? Or, what's next? It's your choice. People say, Tony, I just want to feel happy, confident, motivated. And I say, then master your state. Because those emotions aren't random, they're created. You can create happiness by focusing on what you're grateful for. You can create confidence by remembering your wins. You can create motivation by moving your body and focusing on your purpose. But if you wait for life to give you those feelings, you'll wait forever. Waiting for happiness is like waiting for the sun to rise inside your house. You've got to open the blinds. I remember years ago, I was at one of my lowest points. Things weren't working the way I wanted. My mind was filled with doubt. And then I realized I was using my focus against myself. I was focusing on what I couldn't control, on what I'd lost instead of what I could give. The moment I shifted that focus, everything changed because energy flows where attention goes. You can be rich and miserable. You can be poor and joyful. It's not about resources, it's about state. In a powerful state, you'll find a way. In a weak state, you'll find an excuse. So the question is, how do you live in a beautiful state? Not once in a while, but daily. It starts with awareness. Notice what state you're in. Notice your body, your focus, your language. If you don't like what you feel, don't analyze it, change it. Move, breathe, shift. Don't wait to feel ready. Move first and the feeling will follow. Motion precedes emotion. You don't dance because you're happy, you become happy because you dance. The key is conditioning. You can train your nervous system to default to empowerment. Every day, practice gratitude. Every day, move your body with energy. Every day, speak words of strength. Over time, your brain learns that happiness and strength are your natural state. You can condition yourself into suffering or into joy. The choice is repetition. If you complain, your brain learns suffering. If you appreciate, your brain learns joy. Some people say, Tony, I can't help how I feel. Yes, you can. You may not control the first thought that shows up, but you control what happens next. You control whether you feed it or starve it. You control whether you move your body into weakness or power. You control where you place your focus. The fastest way to change your emotion is to move your body. If you're feeling stressed, go for a run. If you're feeling down, blast music and dance. If you're feeling anxious, take 3 deep breaths and expand your chest. It sounds simple, but it's science. Your body chemistry responds to your movement and breathing in seconds. And when you're in a peak state, your brain opens up. Creativity flows. Ideas come. Confidence rises. You attract people and opportunities that match your energy. When you're in a beautiful state, you make better decisions. You treat people differently. You show up with certainty, and the world responds to you differently. People don't follow people who have all the answers. They follow people with energy. Energy is influence. If you want to lead, if you want to love, if you want to create impact, master your energy first. The energy you bring into a room can shift the whole environment. Walk into a meeting with fear and people feel it. Walk in with passion and people rise with you. Because emotion is contagious, and the strongest emotion in the room always wins. So the question is, are you letting the world set your state, or are you setting the state for the world? Every morning, take 5 minutes to prime your state. Stand tall, breathe deeply, visualize what you're grateful for, feel the energy in your body. Don't start your day by reacting to messages, news, or stress. Start it by creating power within yourself. If you master your morning, you master your day. If you master your day, you master your life. You can't control the waves, but you can learn to surf. You can't control the storm, but you can become the calm in the storm. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. There will be days when things go wrong, when people disappoint you, when fear tries to creep back in. That's life testing you. Asking, have you really mastered your state? In those moments, don't shrink. Smile. Take a deep breath. Remember who you are. You are not your circumstances. You are not your thoughts. You are the creator of both. And the moment you remember that, you're free. Happiness, confidence, peace, they're not goals. They're practices. Practice creates mastery. So train yourself daily. Train your body to move with energy. Train your mind to focus on what's good. Train your words to empower, not weaken. Because when you master your state, you master every part of your life, your relationships, your business, your health, your spirit. There will always be challenges. There will always be uncertainty. But when you're in a beautiful state, you don't just survive, you thrive. You find meaning in the chaos. You find gratitude in the struggle. You find joy in the process. That's what it means to master your state. It's not about pretending life is perfect. It's about remembering you have the power to choose how you show up, no matter what life gives you. So decide now, I will no longer be a victim of emotion. I will no longer let fear run my life. I will stand tall, breathe deep, focus on what matters, and create the energy that empowers me and everyone around me. Because that's who you really are. You are strength. You are love. You are joy in motion. And when you live from that place, you become unstoppable. You don't need permission to feel good. You don't need perfect conditions to feel strong. All you need is the awareness to change your state right now in this moment. So take a deep breath, smile. Feel your heart beating, you're alive. And that means you already have everything you need to create the life you desire. Master your state, and the world will never have power over you again. People always ask me, Tony, how do you stay so driven? How do you stay in that powerful peak state every single day? And my answer is simple. I don't wait for the world to give me energy. I create it. Because if you wait for energy, you'll be tired. If you wait for inspiration, you'll feel stuck. But when you decide, when you stand up and move your body with intensity, when you speak with passion, when you direct your focus with purpose, that's when life changes. Energy is a decision. It's not a gift. It's a habit. Most people don't understand. They live in reaction. They wake up, they check their phone, and instantly they hand their state to the world. A message, an email, some news headline, and boom, their energy collapses. And they say, I don't know why I'm stressed. You're stressed because you gave away control. You let the world decide how you feel. But if you take back control, if you start your morning by commanding your focus, commanding your breath, commanding your energy, you become the master of your life again. Every emotion you've ever felt was created by something inside you, not by the event, but by your interpretation. The meaning you give something determines how you feel about it. And the beautiful thing is you can change meaning in an instant. If someone betrays you, you can say, they destroyed me, or you can say, they taught me who I really am. If something ends, you can say, it's over, or it's the beginning of something greater. Meaning equals emotion, and emotion equals life. You want a better life. Give better meaning to the things that happen to you. Train yourself to find empowerment instead of pain, progress instead of loss. Because life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Every challenge, every delay, every heartbreak, it's all shaping your strength. You might not see it when you're in it, but every storm you survive builds a muscle you'll need for your next level. That's why gratitude is the secret to mastering your state. Gratitude is not a feeling, it's a discipline. It's the antidote to fear, to anger, to stress. You can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. You can't be angry and grateful at the same time. Gratitude forces your brain to focus on abundance instead of lack, on what's right instead of what's wrong. Every morning, I start by asking myself, what can I feel grateful for right now, even if it's small? It could be my breath. It could be the sound of the wind. It could be the chance to speak to millions of people and impact their lives. Gratitude changes everything because it shifts your focus to what's working. You don't get happy by achieving. You achieve because you're happy. Happiness fuels success, not the other way around. Most people say, when I get there, I'll feel good. But the truth is, if you feel good now, you'll get there faster. When you master your state, you don't wait for external success to give you permission to feel alive. You bring aliveness to everything you touch. You stop chasing and start creating. I've coached billionaires who have everything, the jets, the mansions, the fame, but they're miserable. And I've met people in villages who have nothing, but they smile with a light that could power a city. Why? Because they've learned the art of living in a beautiful state. Suffering is optional. Pain is inevitable. Yes, we all experience it, but suffering is the meaning you attach to pain. You can be hurt and still find meaning. You can lose and still love. You can fail and still grow. When you start to see life as a teacher instead of a threat, everything changes. Every challenge becomes an invitation to rise. Most people look for comfort, but comfort is the enemy of growth. Growth only happens when you stretch, when you push beyond what's familiar. And if you link growth with joy instead of fear, your life becomes unstoppable. Think about it. The only difference between someone who's fulfilled and someone who's frustrated is the meaning they attach to life's events. You can look at your struggles and say, why me? Or you can say, thank you for shaping me. That's mastery. When you're in a beautiful state, you lead differently. You love differently. You give differently. You become the kind of person who lifts others just by your presence. That's the power of state. It's not just for you. It's for everyone around you. When you're centered, people feel safe. When you're joyful, people feel hope. When you're passionate, people feel alive. You literally become an amplifier of energy in every room you walk into. But remember, your energy is a reflection of your rituals. What you do every day becomes who you are. If you wake up and you focus on gratitude, move your body, breathe deeply, and visualize your purpose, you'll live in strength. If you wake up, scroll your phone, and focus on problems, you'll live in reaction. So ask yourself, what are my daily rituals for my state? Because your rituals create your emotions, and your emotions create your destiny. Success doesn't come from a single action. It comes from consistent habits that reinforce who you want to be, and mastering your state isn't something you do once. It's a lifelong practice. It's catching yourself in the middle of stress and saying, hold on, I can shift this. It's turning frustration into fascination. It's turning fear into curiosity. It's turning doubt into determination. That's emotional intelligence at the highest level, knowing how to direct your inner world no matter what happens outside. And the ultimate goal isn't just power, it's peace. To live in a state where nothing steals your joy, where you can face chaos with calmness, face criticism with compassion, and face uncertainty with faith. Because when you're in that kind of state, you become unshakable. People will say, "You've changed." And you'll smile and say, "No, I've become who I really am." The truth is, you were never broken. You were never weak. You just forgot your power. Mastering your state is remembering that power again. When you were a kid, you didn't need permission to laugh, to run, to imagine, to dream. You lived fully because your natural state was joy. And that's still inside you, buried under fear, doubt, and stress. But it's there waiting for you to wake it up. So shake your body, breathe, smile, and feel that energy again. You don't need to earn it. It's your birthright. No one can take away your state unless you hand it to them. Not a boss, not a comment, not a past mistake. The only one who controls your energy is you. And that's the most empowering realization in life. That you are the source of your emotions, not the victim of them. The moment you take ownership of your state, life bends in your favor. You attract better people, better opportunities, better outcomes, because your energy becomes magnetic. Have you ever noticed how people who live in joy seem to get lucky? It's not luck, it's energy alignment. When you live in gratitude, you see possibilities others miss. When you live in fear, you miss opportunities right in front of you. You see, the world responds not to your words, but to your vibration. And your vibration comes from your state. That's why the greatest skill you can ever learn isn't public speaking or business or even strategy. It's state management. Because in a powerful state, you'll learn anything. In a weak state, you'll give up on everything. So from this day forward, commit to mastering your state like your life depends on it, because it does. Before every conversation, set your state. Before every challenge, set your state. Before every dream, set your state. Don't wait for perfect moments. Create them through your energy, because in the end, success doesn't belong to the smartest, the strongest, or the richest. It belongs to those who control their state the fastest. The ones who can go from chaos to clarity in seconds, from fear to focus, from doubt to drive. Those are the people who build legacies. So right now, decide, I will no longer react. I will create. I will no longer let my circumstances dictate my emotions. I will live in a beautiful state no matter what. Because when you master your state, you master your world. Most people live their lives thinking something outside of them has to change before they can feel good inside. They say, I'll be happy when I have more money. I'll be confident when I lose the weight. I'll feel peace when everything's perfect. But that's a lie that keeps you trapped. Because the truth is, you can feel anything you want to feel right now. If you choose the right state, you don't need a reason to feel joy. You don't need proof to feel powerful. You just need a decision that says, no matter what's happening around me, I choose to live in a beautiful state. When you live that way, the world stops controlling you. You stop reacting to life and you start directing it, because life isn't about avoiding problems. It's about learning how to be resourceful in the middle of them. Every person who has ever done something extraordinary didn't do it because life was easy. They did it because they refused to let life break their spirit. They used their pain as fuel. They used their fear as focus. They turned obstacles into openings. You can do the same, but it starts with awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. Most people never stop to ask, what state am I in right now? They just drift. They let moods control them. They say, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm angry, as if those emotions are facts, not choices. But the moment you notice your state, you take back power, because now you can shift it. You can move your body, change your breath, focus on something empowering, and in seconds, you've changed your world. You are one decision away from a completely different experience of life. And that decision is where you put your attention. What if, instead of focusing on what's missing, you focused on what's possible? What if, instead of waiting to feel confident, you stood like someone who already is? What if, instead of saying, I can't handle this, you said, I was made for this? Those small shifts are what separate leaders from followers, creators from complainers, the fulfilled from the frustrated. Emotion is created by motion, and you control the motion. That's why I always tell people, get in your body first. Don't try to think your way into a better emotion. Move your way into it. Stand tall. Breathe deep. Put your shoulders back. Look up, not down. Change your posture and you'll change your psychology. Every emotion has a posture, a breath, and a focus. If you change one, the others follow automatically. So if you want to feel courage, breathe like someone courageous. If you want to feel joy, move like someone joyful. Your body is the remote control for your mind. You can test it right now. Slouch, drop your head, and breathe shallow. You'll feel your energy drop instantly. Now stand tall, smile big, and take 3 deep breaths. In seconds, you feel alive again. That's not magic. That's physiology. And once you understand that, you'll never again be a prisoner of your emotions, because you'll know exactly how to change them. Now let's talk about something most people overlook: momentum. Once you're in a strong state, you've got to keep it, because emotion loves reinforcement. If you keep feeding it with movement, focus, and language, it grows stronger. But if you stop, if you hesitate, your old state will come back. So train your state like a muscle. Every day, do something that builds strength inside you. Dance, walk, speak your goals out loud, celebrate progress, even small wins. You don't build power by thinking about it, you build it by practicing it. And don't wait for life to calm down. Don't wait for the right moment. There is no right moment. There is only now. Now is the moment you can reclaim your power. Now is the moment you can shift your energy. Now is the moment you can change your destiny. When you master your state, you can walk through chaos with calmness. You can face rejection with resilience. You can look at your biggest fear and say, you don't own me anymore. Because a mastery isn't about control, it's about flow. It's learning to move with life instead of against it. When you stop fighting what is and start using it, you become unstoppable. The storm doesn't scare the sailor who knows how to use the wind. The obstacle doesn't stop the climber who's trained their mind to see possibility. The pain doesn't defeat the warrior who knows it's part of the path to greatness. That's what mastering your state is all about, turning every moment into momentum. You see, emotion is energy in motion. If you don't direct it, it directs you. And when you let fear or anger sit too long, it poisons your focus. But when you channel it into action, it becomes fuel. So instead of saying, I'm nervous, say, I'm excited. Instead of saying, I'm angry, say, I care deeply about this. Transform the energy. Don't waste it. Even the most painful emotions can serve you if you use them wisely. Frustration means you believe you can do better. Fear means you're about to grow. Sadness means you care about something deeply. Those emotions aren't enemies. They're signals. The only danger is staying stuck in them. When you're triggered, when something throws you off, don't suppress it. Feel it fully, then shift it intentionally. Breathe, move, focus on what you can control. Ask yourself, what can I learn here? How can I grow from this? That question alone can turn pain into power. And remember, you need perfect conditions to feel peace. You need practice. Peace is a muscle, and it grows stronger the more you choose it. Every day gives you hundreds of opportunities to practice your state. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You can react with anger, or you can smile and say, I'm not giving you my energy today. A plan falls apart, you can complain, or you can say, okay, this is my training ground. Every moment is feedback. Every challenge is an invitation to mastery. And as you strengthen that skill, you'll notice something. Life starts to feel lighter. Because when you stop being controlled by external chaos, you start to experience internal freedom. That's what everyone is searching for. Not just success, not just achievement, but freedom. Freedom to feel good no matter what. Freedom to live with passion without needing anyone's approval. Freedom to choose peace even in pain. And that freedom only comes when you master your state. Now, let me remind you, energy is everything. The quality of your energy determines the quality of your life. When your energy is low, everything feels like a problem. When your energy is high, everything feels like an opportunity. So protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Be mindful of what you consume, not just food, but media, conversations, and environments. You can't stay in a peak state if you surround yourself with negativity.